Good afternoon, Your Honor. Daniel Magoo.
All right. Mr. Gu, you are representing yourself. I do have to apprise you that you are before the court on charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. That is a high court misdemeanor, or what technically is known as a high court misdemeanor and or felony, punishable by up to 2 years, $2,000 fine plus court costs. There are great perils in representing yourself in this. You have to understand that I am going to treat you the same as though you know the laws and the rules of evidence. I will not treat you worse because you are not represented. I will not treat you better or grant any favors or try to clarify anything for you. If, for whatever reason, during any point in this proceeding, you wish to be represented by counsel and cannot afford to hire counsel, counsel will be appointed to represent you. As I have in the past hearings asked you to acknowledge what I've said, I'm going to only indicate that I believe that you understand English. You believe that the words that I have said to you are understood, so that we don't get into, you need to remove the gum from your mouth.
Mr. Mio has returned, and once again, he's about to learn the hard way why having a lawyer is not optional in situations like this. If you're new to the channel, this is actually the second part of a case we discussed earlier. The individual you're about to watch is Daniel Mio, and his courtroom behavior is honestly shocking. Throughout the hearing, he repeatedly avoids answering Judge Simpson's questions and presents himself with this arrogant, all-knowing attitude, as if he believes he's superior to everyone else in the room. Right from the start, things are clearly not going in Mr. Mio's favor. Even saying his name feels odd at this point, but nothing compares to how he conducts himself. He shows up to court without an attorney and is casually chewing gum, acting more like he's watching a movie than standing before a judge. That alone should tell you everything. You can clearly see he has no respect for the seriousness of the situation. Take this as a warning. Don't follow Mr. Mio's example. A courtroom is not a place for games or attitude, and choosing to represent yourself is a terrible decision, especially when paired with this level of arrogance. With that said, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into today's courtroom interaction and watch exactly how things unfold between Mr. Mio and Judge Simpson.
And
Thank you.
so I will not ask you to acknowledge. I will presume that you do indeed understand everything that I've said. Now, having said that, what are we doing with this case?
I'd like to move for evidentiary hearing or
You wish to have a preliminary examination?
preliminary examination. Yes, sir.
Would the people have their witnesses available the second?
We can try, Your Honor, but before moving toward that, would the court be willing to make its inquiries about discovery? I am aware of the defendant having filed a writ of mandamus with the Court of Appeals of the state of Michigan.
Yes.
That was subsequently dismissed without prejudice by the Court of Appeals.
Correct.
Contained within that, though, there are allegations that my office has violated its Brady obligations and has not provided sufficient discovery. So I'm not sure if we're ready to move forward to preliminary exam. The defendant is saying that he doesn't have all of the discovery. That is the concern of the court. The record I feel compelled to make at this time, though, is that the people have provided, I do believe, complete discovery to the defendant, and I believe that some of the representations that were made in this writ of mandamus that has been dismissed appear to allege that things that have already been denied by this court should be produced. Furthermore, the defendant filed a motion with no notice of hearing attached to it. So there's an outstanding motion in this case as well, no hearing date scheduled. So I'm hoping that we can sort of reconcile both of those things as whether or not discovery is complete, the defendant's prepared to move forward, and if he ever has filed a notice of hearing to go along with the motion that I received in this case on 11/22.
Mr. Magoo, your response.
My response is that I thought this was the hearing that we were setting for the motion. So if I have to set a motion for a notice of hearing for that motion, I will do that today, Your Honor, promptly.
What about discovery?
I'm ready to move forward on what I meant by my discovery comment was that there's still no exculpatory evidence as far as that I did anything wrong, as far as anything that they've submitted. So if it was improper for the wording, Your Honor, I apologize, but my ultimate goal is have the prosecution present their evidence against me.
I'm going to indicate discovery is complete because I don't know what you're saying, because what you just said regarding discovery didn't make any sense. As it regards the motion, we will hear the motion or the motion will be heard on date of exam.
Thank you, Your
Deal
Honor.
with it at that point in time. So the people would have their witnesses available on the second.
We can try for the second, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination in person, January 2nd, 2025, 12.
Yeah.
12 noon, that is before me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And continue.
This situation perfectly shows why walking into court without a lawyer is one of the worst decisions someone can make. From the moment he starts speaking, it's obvious he doesn't respect the seriousness of the situation. He carries himself with this arrogant attitude, almost like he believes he knows more than the judge sitting in front of him. I honestly can't understand why he thought challenging the court in this way would ever work. If anyone has an explanation for why he acts this detached from reality, drop in the comments. To me, he fits the classic sovereign citizen mindset. I've covered plenty of these types on this channel, and they all seem to share the same inflated ego and hostile approach toward judges, as if the law somehow doesn't apply to them. What really makes this case disturbing is how serious the charges actually are. He's accused of assaulting a police officer, and because of that, he ended up losing custody of his child. Courts don't remove custody without strong reasons, so this is not something minor. Yet he behaves like this is just another routine day, casually denying everything as if that alone will make the problem disappear. Instead of helping himself, he's only making the judge more irritated. And honestly, most viewers probably feel the same frustration watching this unfold. This is a clear reminder of how badly self-representation can backfire. In my experience, it almost never ends well, especially when someone acts like this. Rather than defending themselves, they usually dig an even deeper hole. The fact that he lost his child and still refuses to take accountability is hard to wrap your head around. Whether this is due to emotional instability or pure immaturity, it's difficult to see how he was ever considered fit to care for a child. That's all for my thoughts on this clip. I'll be covering the next hearing when it drops.